Good evening, folks. Here we are. It's the 10th of December already, and coming up the I've got my teeth mixed up. Hang on. The Nightmare Before Christmas Funko Pop calendar, and it's another cool character, trust me. The Harry Potter one, and we had a little bit of a debate who this was because I hadn't got a clue, and Deb thought it was one of two different people, so we got there in the end. And obviously the doggy advent calendar. Now, if you ever want to see what happens when you try and get a dog to talk on a screen and she wants to show you up badly, watch this advent calendar. And coming up, a special little video which we filmed today of a set of ornaments that my late mother had in her flat, and we don't think she ever took out and put out, and it's worth watching, it's worth seeing, trust me. And I'll also just be having a bit of talk today about well, to be honest with you, about Christmas and how my mum fits into Christmas for me, you know, what she means to me at Christmas. So yeah, all that to follow coming up. The advent calendars.
It's door 10. When you're on your 10th day with treats. What we got?
We got chess.
What we got here?
We got chess. We got.
Hang on. Once again, the eyesight's gone. There it is. There it is.
Tail
What
going.
we got?
Tail going.
What we got? It's the little bones again.
What's he got, Jess? What's he got?
Are you going to talk for Matthew? Are you going to talk for Matthew? I want one. I want one. No, come here. Sit. Sit. I want one. No. I want one. Stop doing that and then you stop losing your breath, you Wally. I want one. Good girl.
Oh dear.
I want one. No. Oh dear. I want one. No. I want one. No. Good girl. You got sing for your supper. I want one. No. I want one. No. You keep doing that. I want one. I want one. No. All right. I'll give you that one. I want one. I want one. I want one. You're determined not to talk, aren't you, today? That's it. We got there in the end.
She wasn't going to do it for you.
Hey, this is funny.
Oh,
Got one left.
crying.
It's fun.
Sit.
Sit.
Sit. I want one. Good girl. Paw.
Yeah.
Paw. Good paw. Good girl.
That's
Other one.
good girl.
Good girl. Come here, other one. Ta. Good girl. Ready? Good girl.
Good girl.
Good girl.
Oh, it's a good girl. The big fussy. We had a good conversation this morning, didn't we, mate? Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Favourite spot again.
And that eventually is door 10 of the doggy advent calendar. Hey up, folks, and after that lovely conversation with the dog, it's now for time for door 10 on the Nightmare Before Christmas advent calendar. Yesterday was Lock, out of Lock, Shock and Barrel. And today we have ow, 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 a new finger. Ow, ow, ow. There we go.
Different for a bag.
You say it's been, I think it was white yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Trusty scissors. Ah, very cool actually. It's Shock. Off Lock, Shock. And Barrel. So don't be surprised if tomorrow might be Barrel. There's Shock. And that is in door 10 of the Nightmare Before Christmas Pocket Pop calendar. Hey up folks, it's Harry Potter day 10 calendar, and here we go. Yesterday was George Weasley, the day before was Fred Weasley. I don't think they could possibly put Ron Weasley in for the third one, could they? No, it isn't Ron Weasley. I've no idea. Deb might know this one. Let's find out. On Deb, there's your starter for 10.
Yeah, it's the last that Harry takes, but I can't think what she's called.
The last that Harry takes, but I can't think what she's called.
I can't remember what her name is.
Obviously, people are screaming the names at the screen right now.
Probably.
But there you go. It's the last that Harry takes to what?
The Yuletide Ball.
Right, the Yuletide Ball.
Can't remember what her name is.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know. Oh dear, sorry. Yeah, that is in door 10 of the Harry Potter Pocket Pop calendar.
Well, as you've just seen, the Harry Potter Advent Calendar threw up Padma Patel. Now, I know I did a joke at the end there when I said, sorry, I don't know the answer, but I'm not meaning to be offensive. I know there's a lot of people out there who will take offence, and I don't want them to take offence. It was just a joke. It's my sense of humour. My wife laughed. She said she got a feeling there might be some comeback on it, but we'll see. Oh, sorry, just get myself comfortable. Yeah. The Nightmare Before Christmas one is the second of 3 characters. I don't know whether you know the Nightmare Before Christmas, but there's 3 characters in it who are creepy as hell, called Lock, Shock and Barrel. And I've had Lock yesterday, I've had Shock today, so the odds are that I might get Barrel tomorrow. And if they do, I'll be disappointed actually, because I would have thought that to make it more interesting, and knowing that they run together, Lock, Shock and Barrel, you would have thought they'd have mixed them up to make it a bit more adventurous. But we'll see tomorrow. I could be wrong. Anyway, today has consisted of sorting stuff out, because we've had this room where I am now has got a big Welsh dresser at the side of it. Hold on. There, as you can see, right? As you can see, big Welsh dresser. And it's full, literally, of our personal stuff, like figures, collectible figures, because Deb used to collect a thing called pocket dragons. Excuse me, let me move the camera a bit. That's better. Pocket dragons. I also collect things called myth and magic figures, or I did up until a few years ago. Now, Deb stopped collecting pocket dragons because, unfortunately, I don't know whether you know the story behind pocket dragon figures. They were a set of figures that were absolutely beautiful figures, lovely. They were dead cute little dragons in different poses. Now, we only found out years later that the dragons, the little tiny cute dragons, were based on the owner's cats, kittens, cats, whatever, and the cats passed away. So once they passed away, they didn't do any more of the pocket dragons, and they faded into insignificance. Now, Deb's got about 60 of these things. all really good quality, no chips in them, no nothing. She bought them all brand new. In fact, I bought a lot of them for her at Christmas presents and stuff like that. She's got cookie jars and all sorts of stuff. And me, I used to collect the Myth and Magic figures. And Myth and Magic figures are basically figures that if you drop them on your foot, you would break every bone in your foot easy. They weigh an absolute ton, and I think they're made of pewter. I'm not 100% certain, but I know that they weigh an absolute brick. You can't pick one up and throw it to your mate and expect him to catch it, because he'll move out the way, because if it hits him, it'll knock him out. And we're sorting through today, and I've also got a cabinet. Now what this cabinet is, it's here right next to me. Hear me tap it there. That's the drawer underneath the Welsh dresser. Now in that cabinet I used to collect pocket watches. I had a fascination for pocket watches, and I collected loads of them. They were in these little black books. There was tons of boxes. There was tons of them, little black boxes like this, with a pocket watch in, plastic front cover. They were a thing called Atlas Editions, who don't exist no more. And I collected these pocket watches for ages. Now, because I collected them so long, they sent me 2 cabinets to put them in, and I'd never put them in before. Well, what I've managed to do today is get rid of all the black boxes to recycle, taking the plastic sheets off them and the black linings, which are material for Deb to use in her crafting resources, put the cardboard in recycle, and put all my pocket watches in these 2 drawers, these 2 cabinets that basically sit on the wall, and you've got like 15 or 16 slots in them, and you put the pocket watches on the hooks. And I'll be putting them up in the new year. More of that to come in the new year, because I'll be showing you each individual pocket watch. So we've been having a bit of a sort out today, and one of the things we've done as well is at the top of the unit, it was completely full of glasses and commemorative things and all sorts, and we've took it all down, sorted through it, and we put up on the top this decoration that is a 6-part Thomas Kincaid village. It's a beautiful village, it really is. And the video that's coming up after I finish talking now is that Thomas Kincaid village. So just check this out and tell me what you think. Now this village, what you can see is a 6-part Thomas Kincaid Hawthorne village, Christmas village. And as you can see, you'll see a bit more in a minute because we'll go into more detail. But as you can see, it looks beautiful, well lit up. Every building has got lights inside it which actually clip in from the bottom. Coming up are easier pictures to see. This video will show it you with a bit more light, and you can see the detail that's on every single piece. What it basically is, it's got a cable that runs the entire length of them with individual lights that go up inside and clip inside each of the houses. There's little tiny figures that go with them. There's a little car. The individual lamps are also separate. There you can see skaters on the pond. It's a bit dark, so because I wanted to show you the full lights. As you can see here, coming up is the church, and the detail on this church is absolutely amazing. It really is. Show it you from a different angle. As you can see there, look, it's got its spire and the cross at the top. So in case you're wondering what's behind it, it's just a little garland of tinsel just to show you that it looks snowy. Look at the toy shop window. Look at the detail in the toy shop window. And as you can see, you know, like I said, they've got Christmas lights outside them, and all of them light up, and it's a beautiful decoration. This belonged to my mum. She never got to the space, to be honest, to put it all out. So we are the first people in the family to have this village all the way out. Now, my sister will be having it next year. We're taking it in turns each year to put out at Christmas, and this has completely filled the top of our Welsh dresser, so you can see how big it is. Some pictures coming up which show you a bit clearer, and a video showing it you without the lights, just so you can take in some of the detail. And that's here now, as you can see. There you can see, look, if you look at the detail on the characters, if you look at the detail on the houses. And I love the fact that we've got a white wall behind it, so it looks like it's a snowy sky. That was by accident, by the way. The skaters there on the pond, you can actually take them off, them actually come off. The individual lights, 3 light up and 3 don't, but they're actually meant to be like that. As you can see, there's a little car there coming up to the church. There's the toy shop again with the wreath on the door. This is a particular favourite of mine, the horse-drawn sleigh. That takes you back to a day gone past. And there's a gift shop right at the end there. Again, excuse just come out a little bit so you can see how big it actually is on the unit. And as you can see, it is a quite a size. And now we're going to show you the individual parts so you can see them. There you go. This is the first of them. There are actually 6 parts, as I've told you. There are more parts to the village, and my mum never got to collect them all, but I think there's about 20 or 30. And when you bear in mind this was originally out in 2001, it is extremely difficult to get the parts you needed to complete it all now. But like I said, the detailing, you've even got a little man in the cabin there, as you can see. It's an absolutely beautiful ornament. I've never seen anything like it, to be honest with you, not all set up in one go. So that's the Thomas Kincaid Village from 2001, which was my late mother's. Hope you enjoyed that. Now I want that absolutely stunning, and that was my late mother's. It was in my late mother's flat, and it had never been out fully at all. And we set it out today, me and Deb did, and turned all the lights on, and they absolutely look stunning, as you can see from the video. Now, what I was just going to talk about for a bit actually is how I keep mentioning my mum to do with Christmas, and what it is it's because as a child, my earliest special memory of my mum at Christmas was one year she used to buy us all small presents, tons of them, about, you'd have 8 or 9 small presents rather than a big one. One year she come up to us, all 3 of us, and asked us what we wanted for Christmas. Now, my sister chose a ghetto blaster because she was well into all that at the time. Big thing with twin cassette decks on it, the works, one of them that sat on your shoulders and broke your arm, one of them things. Our Mandy at the time was doing a lot of secretarial stuff. So she decided on a typewriter, a manual typewriter. Really nice it was as well. And I was mental on computers at this stage, so I actually asked if I could have a computer. Not thinking I'd get one. And Christmas morning came, and there were 2 boxes for me. And I opened the first one, and it was a cassette player, a Cathay Pacific cassette recorder. You know the ones, quite long, about this long, metal. And you've got stop, plus, play, and stop, play, rewind, etc. And you basically press it, it lifts up. It's got a big speaker at the back, like it's flat like that. That's the part where the cassette is, and then it's got a speaker here, like a speaker. And at the side, it's got little ports. What you plug wires in. Well, I opened this cassette recorder, couldn't figure out what the hell I got that for. Then I opened my big present. My main present was a Spectrum 48K with the rubber keys, the old ZX Spectrum. And you needed I didn't realise at the time until I'd opened it, you needed the cassette recorder in order to load the games. You used to have to actually plug 2 wires into the Spectrum, 2 wires into the cassette recorder, the Cathay Pacific cassette recorder, put the tape in, press it down, do play on your computer, press play on the thing, and it would load the game. So my first real big memories of that, getting a big computer when I'd never had a present, anything like that at all. And my mum had just decided one year to buy us something really special, and she bought me that, and that got me completely addicted to computers, and I've been addicted to them ever since. So that was my first memory really of the Christmas. And as we've gone on through the years, my mum's made a special effort at Christmas. She always does. She always manages to make everybody, give everybody something special at Christmas. And what she usually does with me and Deb, up until a few years ago, she would buy us Christmas presents and we'd open them. Great, no problem. Then she found out that what we do after Christmas, as me and Deb, we tend to go for not the Boxing Day sales as such, but we wait for the sales to come between Boxing Day and middle of January, all them sales that come about. And we used to spend money in them, few weeks there, buying and sell stuff. So my mum said one year what she would do was, instead of giving us cash, or instead of buying us something, what she would do is we would basically have something to open on Christmas morning, something small, as she would say, something small, but a couple of weeks later, she would tell us to go on the internet and spend up to a certain amount each on Christmas presents in the sales. And that became sort of like something that me and Deb did on a regular basis. Every year without fail, we would literally just have something nice to open on Christmas morning. And then my mum would say, right, if you go on, let me know, you've got my card details, blah, 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 just get it whenever you want. So yeah, that's why I also connect my mum to Christmas. The other thing was, obviously, when I was younger, my mum used to cook some amazing Christmas dinners. You know, her Christmas dinners were really, really good Christmas dinners. They were really nice. They were the full lot, you know, the Yorkshires, the roast potatoes, the stuffing, the sprouts, the turkey. And Boxing Day, you know, we'd always have chips. We'd always have chips Boxing Day with turkey and stuffing and garden peas. And that would be our Boxing Day dinner. We knew what was coming each year, and that's what we used to look forward to. And it's something I miss, to be honest. It's something I miss from my youth. I don't do it no more. I don't eat turkey, to be honest with you, very often. I'm a chicken man. I don't do beef or lamb or pork or no like that, unless it's sausages or bacon. I don't really do anything like that. And the other thing was, I'm a bit of a bugger for winding people up in a good way. Don't get me wrong. A couple of years ago, my mum was after a massive jigsaw board, as in one of the proper ones that you could rotate and swivel and all that. And she'd been onto a place called Bits and Pieces, and they were £150. And she was going to get herself one. And I said, well, if you want, I'll go on and get it for you. You know, I'll go online. I might be able, you know, get it online. It's easier than you've given me card details. I said, okay then. Well, what I did, I got back home and I phoned my sisters, Paula and Mandy, and said, look, instead of us getting as individual presents for my mum, how do you fancy us all chipping in and buying her this? And they were all, oh yeah, great, no problem, fantastic, right, that's good. We'll get it sorted, get it ordered, get it in the house, job done, right. And my mum kept saying to me, you know, have you had any luck getting this thing? And one time she rung me up and I said, I'm on eBay now. And the guy says he can get you one, but it's not going to be here till mid-January because they've had a big rush on them. So my mum was like, oh, well, yeah, that's okay. That doesn't matter. You've got me card details, haven't you? I said, yeah, don't worry. I'll sort it all out now. I'll sort it all out for you and you'll get it mid-Jan. And anyway, about 4 days before Christmas, she says, my money still hasn't come off my card, you know, for that board. Are you sure he's definitely send it? I said, Mum, he can't, can he? He doesn't send it until he gets them. And it's going to be mid-Jan. And my mum, all the way up till Christmas Day, didn't realise that this board was waiting for her. And my sister managed to get it on film. And her face when she opened it was a picture. It really was, you know. She was like, you swine. She always used to say that to me. You bugger. You got me again. And I do things like that. Because I like surprising people on Christmas morning. I love it. I love the faces when they see what they've got me. And a few years ago, my sister got her own back on me. My sister Paula. Many years ago, when I was a child, I had an Etch-a-Sketch. Do you remember Etch-a-Sketches with the two knob things on that you could draw lines and squares and all that stuff? Well, I had one of them. And one day my sister decided, when we were living at Braidley, that she wanted to see what it looked like inside. So she chucked it out my bedroom window. And it hit the concrete path next door, in next door's yard. And let's just say nearly every blade of the grass was silver after that, because it literally exploded and it's full of little silver particles that went everywhere. The woman come out from next door, saw the grass was silver, didn't know what was going on. And a couple of years ago, my sister had bought me a Christmas present and she managed to get me a 1970s Etch-a-Sketch. And it actually said on the tag, better late than never. So it took her, 30 odd years, nearly 40 years, but she got me my Etch-a-Sketch back, and I've still got it. It's still upstairs. It's still in its box. I'm not getting rid of that, mate. That's a nostalgia trip, and it still works. You know, it hasn't stopped working. The buttons haven't seized up or nothing like that. You can still draw on it and all sorts. It's like whoa. So yeah, I've got a lot of connections to Christmas, if you like, to do with my mum and to do with my family. Because we've always been a family that celebrated Christmas. Although when I was younger, I used to have memories of spending Christmas elsewhere. And now, I knew I spent Christmas once at my Auntie Pauline's, who was an absolute wonderful woman. She was like a mum to me, she really was. And I remember having these memories, but I thought, hang on, I've got way too many memories for just one. I've got all these different memories of things like eating trifle for my breakfast and having cornflakes for my supper and all this, you know. And I've since found out that for about 5 or 6 years, every time Christmas came around, I got sent to my aunties. And I spent Christmas with my auntie, my uncle, and their son and daughter, which was Paul and Wendy. And it was strange because the only person who put a stop to it after a few years was my dad. He turned round and he just said, it isn't right that he should be away from home for Christmas. He should be here at Christmas. And so he put a stop to it. But it had gone on for like 5 or 6 years. And I didn't even, well, I knew it had gone on because obviously I enjoyed it when I was there. I used to love going. And my Auntie Pauline, like I said, she took me in anyway, no worries. In fact, in 1995, when I was almost homeless, she was the one who took me in, put me up, got me back on my feet. Sadly, she passed away a few years back now, and I still miss it. And Christmas, believe it or not, if ever I wanted a connection to Christmas, my Auntie Pauline lived for Christmas. She actually had a one-bedroom flat, right? A one-bedroom ground floor flat. And she put enough decorations in the living room to fill 3 detached houses. I know because we used to put them up. Me and Deb used to go down about 6-7 weeks before Christmas. And we'd go down on a Friday or a Thursday. And then we'd meet her in town on the Friday, go back her house on the Friday afternoon, ship my uncle off next door because he liked to talk to the lady next door and have a kip and that. And he couldn't really help with the decorations anyway. And then literally by the time he came back, it would look like grotto land. It really would, honest. And what my chief job was, I wanted to make sure that all the things that lit up worked off one socket. So that literally all my auntie had to do was flick a socket on, flick a socket off, and everything would light up in the room. And I got it to work as well. It had to be 2, one side of the room, one the other side of the room, because I couldn't get them all on one socket. It would have blown the thing to smithereens. And people used to, the funny thing was, kids used to know when it was coming up to Christmas because they'd see me auntie's decks in the window and they'd start giving the mum grief then about, oh, you know, what am I having for Christmas, blah, blah, blah. And we'd be there putting these decks up and there'd be a knock on the door and it would be some woman from down the street whose child wanted to see the decorations and they'd just be brought in and show them the decorations and we'd still be there, we'd be like, wow, you know, she literally lived and breathed Christmas. And then we would go down sometimes in January, about January the 6th or 7th, and help her to put them all down and put them away. And me and Deb miss that. We miss that a lot about Christmas, you know, which is why we try and make the effort at Christmas. We do it for my mum. We do it for my mum now. This year we're doing it for my mum and my Auntie Pauline. And like I said, my Auntie Pauline was amazing woman, really amazing woman. But she just lived and breathed Christmas all the way. She only came alive really properly at Christmas. At Christmas and when she was in Newquay as well, Newquay and Cornwall on holiday. So yeah, I just wanted to, you know, tell you why I keep mentioning my mum to do with Christmas. It's because there's a lot of connections with my mum and Christmas. Because obviously when we used to go down to my auntie's on the Thursday, we would always stay at my mum's. We would, you know, we'd sleep at my mum's. We got his own room at my mum's. But we would literally go down to my auntie's town centre the day after, meet with my auntie, go back hers, put the decks up, and if we hadn't put them all up, we would literally go home, go to my mum's, sleep there, and then go back the next day and finish them off. And we have done that before. We did 2 days, you know, it lasted 2 days for a few times when we put the decks up. But she had everything. Absolutely everything you could possibly think of that could light up. She had Santas climbing up ladders in batteries. She had this brilliant thing, which I've never seen anywhere else, actually. And what it was, you had to use a staple gun, and you had to staple it to your ceiling, one side of the room, and staple it the other side. And when you clapped your hands like that, it started playing Christmas music, and Santa went across the ceiling on a parachute. He got like a parachute umbrella parasol above him. And he literally went across this rope on it. And then if you clapped your hands, he'd turn round and come back. She had some amazing stuff. She had light-up trains. She had everything. But one thing I'm glad she did get rid of, the very first Christmas we went, she had 4, 5, 6, 7... She had 8 blow-up Santas and reindeers that you could literally inflate by just blowing them like that. Well, of course, I had the job of blowing them up, and it used to make me go out of breath and make me feel dizzy and high as a kite, you know, because I was literally blowing these things up till they, you know, and one year, I think it was the 2nd or 3rd year we went down there, she got rid of them, and I was not sorry. I was not sorry at all. But we don't know how she did it, because every year we'd go down there knowing that there was a house full of decorations, and she'd say, I've also bought these as well. Can you put these up? And it's like, how do you find room? You know, because literally every 3 inches of her living room space was taken up with something Christmassy. Whether it be ornaments, glow-in-the-dark stuff, whether it be Santas that lit up or went across the ceiling. She even had this massive rope net that was all lights that literally went over these 3 chandelier lamp things that hung down from the ceiling. We used to have to fit it over the top there and then stretch it out and use a gun thing to put it on the ceiling. And it was like, wow, you know, it was just mad. She had this massive, like a hose pipe that was a rope light, and we had to put these hooks into the wall and then put it all the way around the outside of the wall, well, the inside of the wall, but you know what I mean, all the way around the outside of the room. And when you turned it on, it like lit the house up like a Christmas tree. God knows what electricity bill must have been like. I'd hate to think. But yeah, like I said, you know, I've got so many good memories of Christmas that I absolutely love it. I love Christmas. I'll never change. I'll always be mad on Christmas. I'll always be mad on what it represents and the happy memories that are associated with it. So yeah, well, today we've had all sorts, haven't we? Coming up, another Christmas poem. This one, believe it or not, is just quite cleverly called Christmas. November fireworks seem a lifetime away, a distant memory that flashes in my mind. The chill of November gives way to the cold of December. The advent calendars open their doors to the delight of tiny voices. The town spends the day in turmoil and waits for the gentle evening. Crowds surround me as I wander and voices echo off the sparkling streets. Shop windows dazzle me with their lights and clever displays, a myriad of colours blended in to make the picture perfect. Everywhere a bargain and a sale to widen the eyes. The cold bites deep, but the warmth of the season banishes it. Pockets are emptied as arms are laden with bags and boxes. Smiling faces can be seen amongst the crowds. Afar the Christmas beams out a jolly ho ho ho, his grotto looking like a replica of the North Pole. Excited children wait for the chance of a lifetime, a word from him and their dreams come true. The parents look on with hidden knowledge, remembering their day and their time here years past. Excitement rains down like a hailstorm of smiles, and it's so contagious that I find myself smiling for no reason. I stop and look at various windows, and your arm links mine. You tell me the things that you like, and I, with a knowing look, smile. We start our journey home, and we're escorted all the way. A million lights from a million windows shine through the dark. I see Christmas trees, reindeer, snowmen, all lit up just to show their involvement. And I wrote that one in 2006, and it's just called Christmas. Well, the last word, what can I say? I'm still waiting, believe it or not, for my coin advent calendar, which I ordered 3 weeks into November. And it still hasn't arrived, and I still haven't had a reason why it hasn't arrived. They keep saying there's a delay and they'll send it out, etc., etc. But by the time I get it, it's not going to be worth opening, so I'll probably just save it for next year. So you'll have a calendar next year, definitely a coin one. And to be honest, I hope they make up for the fact that it's not been here for Advent, because it's an Advent calendar. Why I wouldn't want it on the 1st of December, I don't know. So really, it's a case of waiting again for companies. Also, my 2 Z boxes I'm waiting for, November's and December's now, and I still haven't received them either. It's all good fun, isn't it? It's all good fun. So, yeah, what have we had? We had Padma Patil in the Harry Potter calendar, and we had Shock in the Nightmare Before Christmas calendar. Who will we get tomorrow? Day 11. See you there.